So today, more public impeachment hearings and already some pretty big moments. We're coming into this pretty early in the morning, but let me give you just a little short clip. And this, just in a few seconds, really summarizes the amount of damage that's being done to Donald Trump today.
In this July 25th call between the presidents of the United States and Ukraine, President Trump demanded a favor of President Zelensky to conduct investigations that both of you acknowledge were for President Trump's political interest, not the national interest. And in return for his promise of a much desired White House meeting for President Zelensky. Colonel Vindman, is that an accurate summary of the excerpts that we just looked at?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
So that's your two big witnesses from today saying that, yeah, Donald Trump was doing this. We know that he was doing this and he was doing it for his own personal benefit. There's no argument to be made that this was for America's interests, that somehow extorting Ukraine in this way, was beneficial to the American people. And so look, there's obviously a lot more than that. We're talking about hours and hours and hours of testimony, but that in effect sums it up. And what you really have is them laying out basically what they've said in the past, those two witnesses, but very clearly, and then Republican attempts to sort of muddy the waters and confuse people. And so Devin Nunes is a great example of that. You basically had Devin Nunes and Jim Jordan, at least early on, attempting to do this. Devin Nunes, though, ran up against one really interesting moment early on. There's a short clip, but take a look.
Mr. Vindman, you testified in your deposition that you did not know the whistleblower.
Ranking member, it's Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, you testified in the deposition that you did not know who the whistleblower was.
So that's a great moment because look, the natural end of them trying to attack this lieutenant colonel as being unpatriotic or whatever, he's like a Purple Heart recipient and everything, was that they also just tried to strip him of his title, and I love that he asserted it. I'm not saying that you should be like unnaturally deferential to people simply because they served in the military or anything, but he is a lieutenant colonel and he's not gonna let Devin Nunes, of all people, a guy whose most notable achievement in this life is suing a fictional cow, take away his military service in that way. Now, we can't go through all of the attempts to attack Vindman. Those continued, that's gonna be a big thing. That's gonna continue throughout the day. Jim Jordan certainly got involved in that too. And at one point, Vindman had to actually read excerpts from a glowing performance review that he had received. So just bear that in mind. The smears against Vindman, those are continuing too. But there's also another thing that Nunes was trying to do. He wanted you to lose respect for Vindman, to cast some sort of shadow on his testimony. But Nunes also was advancing the only part of this whole story that the Republicans are interested in. That is the identity of the whistleblower. Here's his attempt to out the whistleblower.
As you know, the intelligence community has 17 different agencies. What agency was this individual from?
If I could interject here. We don't want to use these proceedings.
It's our time,
I know,
Mr. Chair.
But we need to protect the whistleblower.
Please stop.
I want to make sure that there's no effort to out the whistleblower through the use of these proceedings. If the witness has a good faith belief that this may reveal the identity of the whistleblower, that is not the purpose that we are here for, and I want to advise the witness accordingly.
So look, that's what Devin Nunes is trying to do. Schiff isn't going to allow that to happen. And I will say, for the 100th time, who cares who the whistleblower is at this point? Devin Nunes doesn't care who the whistleblower is. He just wants to make you think that he does. And furthermore, to make you think that it's important that we find out that there's this mystery that has nothing to do with what Donald Trump actually did vis-a-vis Ukraine. There's some hidden secretive thing that you should be focusing on instead, when it doesn't matter at all at this point. We are so far past that. And so good on Schiff for actually shutting that down. But that's basically what Devin Nunes used his time for, trying to out the whistleblower and talking a lot about the Mueller report for some reason when we're talking about Ukraine right now. That's what the purpose of the hearing is. For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.